we got to air it out. Let's air it out. So we got to air it out. Let's air it out. So
how you say that? Air it out. Air it out.
Air it out. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Air It Out podcast. I am your humble host, Avery Collins. I am joined on a panel of phenomenal analysts. To my right, I'm pretty sure it's your left, I've got the one and only himself, Mr. Juan. Look at it. Oh, look at it. He got TV in his name now. Oh, he's fancy now. Juan, say what's up to the people. What up?
What's good, everybody? I'm still recovering from what was objectively the lousiest weekend of football that I have ever experienced in my life as a Met fan. Not just because of the Jets getting absolutely undressed and spanked on live television, but also because there were like 5 to 6 blowout games this weekend. No close games. This is the first game this year. This is the first week this year that no game went into overtime. So like no close games whatsoever. So honestly, not happy with the results. Not terribly upset with how it went, but NFL, give me a better product for God's sake.
I mean, it was definitely an interesting week. But again, this is about the time when teams start figuring each other out. There's film now, right? So it's like you're expecting maybe some blowouts, but also expecting some closer games and different things like that. So we will see what happens. Juan was clearly upset. He took that personal. But we're going to go ahead and bring it on over to Darius. Say what's up to the folks. What up?
What's going on? I just want to say something really quick. I love this time of the year, October, because we get football, we get basketball, we get baseball, and even if you like hockey, we get hockey. This is the one time that we get all the sports in 1 month. So it feels good to be a sports fan. Like I said a few weeks ago, it feels good to have fans back. You can tell the fans in any sport that has fans back make a huge difference, especially with the momentum. So I'm happy that we got all these sports and fans back and all that good stuff. So
yeah, I can't wait to see how all of this stuff plays out, right? Like we're in the World Series right now, as Darius just pointed out. Braves versus the Astros. I believe it's tied.
They tied it up last night.
Tied it up last night. So again, it's always good. It's competitive. Then you got you're talking about close to first quarter, almost halfway through the NFL season. NHL is going off. It's good stuff. It's a great time of the year. You got
a little bit of tennis.
Listen, it's good stuff. Boxing is year round, but some good fights coming up. Shakur Stevenson fought last weekend, and that was great. And he put the balls on. But we're not gonna talk about that. But anyway, Coach Braxton is in the building. Darren, say what's up to the people one time.
I want my man Juan up here. Listen here, this is not a good week of football for me, man. Listen. It's not even just the meltdown we had against the Bengals somehow, or the fact that Jamar Chase, single-handedly saved my fantasy squad in my win while having to embarrass my Ravens. Like, that's the worst hurt right there. Fantasy people, that is the worst hurt. That's have pain. Your star player whooping on your team. And you gotta love it, hate it. Hurt piece. But it's cool though. We still good in the record, still good in the division. You know what I mean? And my guys, my team, playoffs this week. Get our first playoff game this week. Hopefully we get that dub tomorrow. God wish my guys luck.
All right, definitely wishing you and your boys some good luck, good fortune there. I hope that you guys stomp whoever you play. I hope it's not even close. I hope it's a blowout and y'all get the big dub. Listen, before we get into our topic today, I want to talk to you guys about tonight's game just a little bit. I'm not going to get too much into it. I just want to talk to you guys about something I'm hearing on the injury report, right? Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Allen Lazard, and Devontae Adams for Green Bay are potentially not going to be playing in this game. So I just want to ask you really quick, if Arizona wins this game, does that put an asterisk on their undefeated record so far this season? Seeing as Green Bay may not be up to full strength, Juan, you look like you've got something to say about it, so I'll let you take the floor here.
Two things on that.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, you play the schedule you're given.
True.
That's it. You don't pick and choose your opponents. You play the schedule you're given.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's number one. Just to set up the context. Number two, when the Bucks won the NBA championship last year, everyone kept saying that the championship would be tainted with an asterisk because they didn't play a fully at strength Brooklyn Nets team, or that the Lakers were dropped out of the NBA Finals playoff just because they got beaten down by the Phoenix Suns.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The fact of the matter, it's the healthiest team that it's usually the healthiest team that wins the championships.
True.
It's the one that knows that the best ability is availability. So to say that a team possibly going undefeated just because of a few injuries taints the legacy of the season itself, I think it's utter nonsense. You play the games that you're given. You play against the opponents that are there. Did you cause the injuries? No. Did you cause the schedule to fall the way it did? No. It just so happens to be the way it is.
Gotcha. I couldn't agree more. Quick thoughts, Darius.
I will say this: they're still playing against Aaron Rodgers, so it doesn't matter who he's throwing. They're still playing against Aaron Rodgers, and a win against a Green Bay Packers team that's a hot team, right? Like I believe the Green Bay 6-1, they won 6 straight. So this is not a team that's a slouch, and they still have a pretty good defense. And if you look at the Cardinals, look at the teams that they played. They didn't play teams that are bad. They played some pretty good teams, right? And they all win those games in great fashion. So I don't think this, like Juan said, that it's not their fault that players got injured, and obviously Devontae Adams got COVID. Yeah, you would want Devontae Adams to play because he's going to put on a highlight reel. He's going to do his thing. And then Kyler Murray, you're still getting Kyler Murray versus Aaron Rodgers, right? You're still getting that QB matchup. You still got DeAndre Hopkins. So I don't look at it as this is going to ruin their reputation or make them look bad. It's a win, especially if they win. Now, if they lose, they lost to an injury-prone team. So and that's why
the question exists, is because people are going to question. They're going to say, hey, listen, if you guys lose to them, then maybe you guys were flukes all along. But if you win, could they then adversely say, well, it's an asterisk because they weren't even at full strength?
They can't
beat them. So
that's like saying the Tennessee Titans are a bad team just because they lost to the Jets.
Yeah, and either way you look at it, it's a good and a bad thing. They lose, like you said, were you really good? They win, you didn't play Devontae Adams.
So it's like you gotta. I think it's a moving the goalpost type situation sometimes there. But to your point, we are so far removed from week 1 where Jameis Winston threw 5 touchdown passes on this Packers team. Since then, this Packers team, as Darius pointed out, has gone 6-0, has not lost a game since then. They look really good. So let me ask you, Coach Braxton, if they lose this game, does that kind of ruin that momentum? Do they get a pass because the receivers are out? Again, and then do the Cardinals, if they win, especially if they win big, is this an asterisk for them?
Well, we're gonna make this very, very simple, people. So and I'm gonna use the same analogy as my guy up here, Juan, because it makes so much sense and it's very, very simple. Do we taint the Toronto Raptors when they won their NBA championship?
Some do.
Do we taint the comeback win from the Cleveland Cavaliers when they were down 3-1 and down Kevin Love at one point?
No, because they won injured.
But they said Draymond got suspended. Remember, Draymond got suspended game 6?
And do we taint, gentlemen, any other win when a team has injuries or is a bad time to play? If you're playing in professional sports, people, a win is a win. At the end of the day, when we go back to the record books, there's only one stat that truly matters above all: the W. Did you get the win? And it does not matter about when they played them, how they played them. The Ravens are 5-2, and they have some of the most injuries out of everyone. So when it comes to injuries, I'm not trying to hear it. Injuries are going to happen. It's part of sports. We all know this. Yes, some key guys might go down.
This is upsetting.
It's always next man stand up. So the Packers win. That's a great thing. They were ready. The backouts were ready to do their job. Well, if the Cardinals won, they continued to roll on a team that were already hurt, and they knew what they had to do, came and executed. A win is a win either way. No tameness. It's just what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it'll definitely be interesting to see. I'm excited to kind of see what's going to happen tonight. I think Aaron Rodgers is still going to do what he does. And honestly, I think we're going to see a surprise out of the receivers that'll be available, the Randall Cobbs and whatnot. Speaking of surprises, let's go ahead and dive directly into our first topic today. And I want to ask you guys who you guys think is the most surprising player and or players so far this season. Talk to me about who has been standing out to you where you're like, oh, wow, I was not expecting it from this person. Darius, I'm going to start with you. Talk to me. Do you have like a top three, or is there one guy that you're like, no, guy, he stood out?
I got 1, 2, 1.5. And my first one, I'm going to go just because I think the touchdown production wasn't there. And I think it's because of the quarterback play, and it was Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp this season, arguably, you got to put him in a conversation as one of the best wide receivers in the game. What he's doing, he leads all major categories in receiving: touchdowns, yards, receptions. He's doing everything you would ask for, and he's not big. He's not the biggest guy. He's not the fastest guy. He just finds a way to get open, game in and game out, and he's been a reliable target for Matthew Stafford, and I love that Matthew Stafford has Cooper Kupp as a security blanket, and that third down receiver, that slot receiver that can go up and get those tough yardage in between the hashes. So it's, for me, he's been a little bit of surprise, just more of the production in the end zone, because he's been finding the red zone. That was something that we kind of saw with Jared Goff, but now he's really taking that. Last week, he had 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, right? And he leads the league. I think he has 9 touchdowns in 7 weeks, and he's on pace for double-digit touchdowns. So we could see between like 14 to like 17 touchdowns when it's all said and done before the season's over, barring he doesn't get injured. But a real big surprise to me, and I think it's a little bit this might be a basic answer, is Trayvon Diggs out of the Dallas Cowboys. What he's doing for that secondary, giving them confidence, kind of playing that I'm going to shut down your number one wide receiver role, being a ball hawk, leading the lead in interceptions. I think he has 6 interceptions in 6 games or something like that. Yeah, 6 interceptions. Literally.
7.
Oh, 7. I'm sorry. 7 interceptions in 6 games. Like, the guy is just a ball magnet. And what impresses me the most is he played wide receiver. So he kind of knows, all right, you're going to run this route. I know if you make this move, I can kind of break in like that. So he's been playing phenomenally well, especially because his rookie season, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't he wasn't the quarterback that I guess Dallas wanted him to be. And this year he's taking a huge step. I'm happy for his success, and I want him to continue doing it. He probably is going to win Defensive Player of the Year. It has to be, because the gap between him and the next guy down is really, it's kind of like he's running away for it. And if he continues to keep playing at the pace that he's playing, and quarterbacks are like throwing to him, and you keep throwing to him, pick six, interception, tackles. So he's doing everything that you're asking from him. So for me, he's really my number one surprise, followed by Cooper Kupp.
I like it. I'm not mad at it.
332 yards as a DB this year so far.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it at all. It's definitely going to be interesting. Coach Braxton, talk to me. Who's your standout surprising player for you thus far this season?
So I actually made a list, because mine is real simple. It's a good and a bad list. It's the guys that surprised me, it was a great thing, and the guys that pissed me off because what are you doing, man? It's the come on, man, from Mr. Coach. Yes, calling it that. But we gotta start off with the good, man. Listen, we all thought it was going to be drops. It was this, it was that. He didn't play. It's last season, but 754 yards later, 6 touchdowns later, and Jamar Chase is that man. He is that man. Let's keep it. Let's just go with it. Let's go with it. It is what it is. Then you got Lamar Jackson. And it's not Lamar Jackson for the reasons y'all think.
Here we go.
My man is a quarterback, people. No running back. And he's showing you this year. Let's be honest. He's showing you this year more than ever. He is a true quarterback. Last but not least, I gotta go with my man Darius here. Trayvon Diggs. Listen, when you have 7 interceptions in 6 games with 11 passes deflected, you are easily saying the defensive player of the year is mine. I might want MVP now. When you start on that type of route.
MVP?
If we're spanning this over a full season, gentlemen, in 17 games, not
MVP,
not 16 games, but 17 games, he should have more than 14 interceptions in that year. With that type of production at the cornerback spot, 14 interceptions. How could he not be MVP? I'm sorry.
That would set the all-time NFL record.
Exactly my point. If he keeps up with that type of production, there's only one thing we can do with him. Give him MVP.
I can't, you know what? I actually can't deny. I mean, defensive player of the year for sure. MVP, that's tough. It's tough.
It's a lot of guys.
Especially playing on that team with Dak doing what he's doing, Zeke kind of bouncing back and being the guy that we expected him to be. So I'm not sure. Plus, what Kyler's doing over in Arizona, even what Josh Allen's doing in Buffalo, and if Aaron Rodgers can pull off a win tonight with no receivers, quote unquote, I mean, he's probably going to vote as far as positioning in that race as well. Juan, talk to me. Who are the guys that you're like, you know what? Yeah,
this guy's surprising. First of all, before I do, the last time we had a defensive MVP was Lawrence Taylor back in the 80s.
Which is a complete disrespect to defenders, but we're not.
I will say the year that Peyton Manning won the MVP was a disgrace because it should have been J.J. Watt when he pulled off that 20 sack season and had 5 touchdowns to go with it for the Texans. He was single-handedly the MVP of the Texans that year.
Of the Texans, not the league.
Did you forget Trayvon Diggs has 2 interceptions and 2 pick sixes already?
Listen, all I'm saying is he, as great as J.J. Watt was that year, Peyton Manning deserved it. J.J. was the MVP of the Texans and he's definitely defensive player of the year. But as far as the league, Peyton Manning put everybody on notice. This is what I do.
I still say he was wrong. But anyway, actually, Avery, I'm going to be calling out one of your players as one of the more surprising players of the league.
I know where you're going.
And, he's been bounced around this league for, the last 9 years now, won a Super Bowl with the Patriots, but he could never find the right fit. Is he a receiver? Is he a running back? Is he a returner?
You said, don't call me a running back, call me an athlete.
Of course, he is neither of those things. He is an athlete of the highest regard. Mr. Cordell Patterson, come down, young man. 82 overall touches this year, 528 yards from scrimmage, and 6 total touchdowns. It seems like Arthur Smith has finally found a role for Mr. Cordell Patterson. And don't get me wrong, there have been plenty of coaches in the past that have tried to find the role, all of which have failed. Even the great Bill Belichick couldn't really exactly find where to put Cordell Patterson in his spot. And even when they won that Super Bowl that year, it wasn't exactly Cordell holding it down and bringing it out. Now that he's finally found his role with Atlanta, we can truly see what it is that true athleticism can achieve in the NFL. All right. And that's what Cordell is. You don't need a defined role to succeed in this league. That's been defined so many times. And to me, a little bit, Cordell reminds me of a better version of what Tavon Austin was supposed to be, which was an athletic player with tremendous speed and strength, but just Tavon could never muster up the kind of clutchness that Cordell has been able to produce.
I can agree there. I would say more of a, what is his name? Oh God. Oh, goodness gracious. He was just Percy Harvin. Percy Harvin is more so kind of the guy I would lean toward. But I do like the Tavon Austin one.
Percy was a good receiver, though.
I say, but the thing with Percy was that he was always a really good return man and a receiver. I never saw him having to run the jet sweeps or never having to run the jet sweeps or coming out of the running back position in the backfield. Cordero lines up behind the quarterback, lines up beside the quarterback. You can put him in the slot and have him do a pitch pass all the way to the outside, even a jet sweep if you have to. That's what makes him so unique. He's big bodied enough to tumble defenders out in the box, and while still being fast enough to outrun a defender in the slot down the middle.
This is true. You are right. This is true. Plus the return yardage and everything like that. That's phenomenal. Shout out to Chris and JT being in the chat. We appreciate you guys jumping on. Truly, truly, truly appreciate it. Chris, you are right. Definitely his biggest hurdle, migraines. I mean, as somebody who dealt with migraines, I understand that it's definitely frustrating and it hurts. Jason said, always hurting for a better career.
But he had a
good
career in the NFL.
I mean, you got traded to the Seahawks and automatically won a Super Bowl, and returned a touchdown against what was arguably one of the better offensive teams in NFL history.
I mean, Percy probably had one of arguably the best college careers in college history. So yeah, I definitely agree there. So it'll be interesting to see. My surprise player, I'm going to have to agree with Coach Braxton here. Jamar Chase has blown me away. I was not expecting to see this type of production from Jamar Chase, especially after not playing last year in college, right? So technically, essentially about 2 years removed from playing football, and then comes in and he's taking the league by storm, and he's doing it against everybody, right? Everybody thought, okay, Marlon Humphrey, now you're going against a defense that is really going to be able to, put a test to you. And he went off for the best game of his career, the best game any receivers had against them all season. So for me, the thing about it is, he's getting the ball. He's the number one target. He's the guy that they want to get the ball. And for him to still put those type of numbers up was completely phenomenal. I'm extremely shocked. Shout out to him. Trayvon Diggs is probably my second for me because he's been phenomenal as well. Could not expect all of those things happening with him as well. Chase wasn't a surprise to me because he went back with Burrow. Had he went to any other team, any other quarterback?
Him and Joe Burrow.
Let me ask this. In terms of rookie receivers, we've had two great ones in back-to-back drafts, both from the same school. Who would you rather have as your number one target wideout? Would you rather have a Jamar Chase, or would you rather have? Oh man, Justin Jefferson. Like who would be your target?
I'm taking Jamar just because I think he's a better run after the catch wide receiver from what I've seen so far. Like Avery said, and I agree. When he took that 80-yard touchdown to the house, I saw flashes of Odell, and that's what I would want. If I can get you on a quick slant and you make one guy miss and you can take it to the house, that's what I want. And he can go up and get the ball. He can run an intermediate route. So I'm taking Chase.
I'm going to go and agree with JT and with Darius. I'm going to go to Jamar Chase, and it's not even for that reason. It's for this reason and this reason alone. I like dogs on my team, and Jamar Chase is a dog. Did you see that block he put on to get Joe Mixon into the end zone 2 weeks ago? I mean, like, he's a dog. And I'm not saying that Justin Jefferson isn't that type of player, but he's more of a finesse player. He reminds me a little bit more of he reminds me honestly a little bit more of Devontae Adams than anything. Because he's a finesse guy. He doesn't like to – I'm not going to say he doesn't like to be extremely physical, but he's not the most physical. He's route running. He's finesse. He's all those different things. Jamar Chase is a dog. And so that's the reason why I'm going to go with Jamar Chase. Hello, mother. Good to see you. Good to see you. So we're going to go ahead and move into our next topic.
Wait, we just going to act like Justin Jefferson shouldn't be picked? Like – are we forgetting the route running ability? The way that he came on and actually took the rookie record and broke it his first year with 1,400 yards.
I mean, Jamar Chase looking like he's gonna break it.
Give me Jay Jetta in the gritty all day, because in 2 years,
here's the reason. Here's the other reason why I'm going Jamar Chase. Justin has Adam Thielen on the other side, right?
Jamar
Yes,
Chase has
absolutely.
T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd on both sides.
And neither one of them has put up the production that Adam Thielen has done in this league. Adam Thielen is proven, and he's a veteran, and he's still getting those numbers. T. Higgins
Adam
and
Thielen
Tyler
is the
Boyd,
number one.
both are very inconsistent. Jamar Chase is clearly the number one guy, and he's still putting this stuff. Like, there's a question whether Justin Jefferson even number one over there. So that's the reason why I'm going Jamar Chase.
But that's the same questions we had about Juju when he had Antonio Brown on the other side. So, like, to really answer the question, you'd have to get rid of either Adam Thielen or Justin Jefferson. I don't think the Vikings are going to be doing that anytime soon.
Listen, man, all I'm saying is, again, my personal preference, I want a dog. And that's why I didn't even bring numbers in it. I said, I want a dog. And I'm looking at what he did blocking and doing all those different things. That's the reason that I'm going with Jamar Chase. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's just me. With that being said, listen, the trade deadline is coming up. Okay. And we've already seen a couple trades happen. In the past couple of weeks, we've seen most recently Mark Ingram getting traded back to the Saints, which Brandon Cooks made very clear I was not okay with.
Ironic, given that they both came from the same.
I mean, hey, listen, and we see Zach Ertz we see Zach Ertz go from essentially bottom of the NFC East to the top of the NFC. Period. Going to the Cardinals. So my question to you guys is, what teams do you think are going to be aggressive during and prior to the trade deadline, as we know that it's coming up pretty soon? What teams do you guys think are going to make a push here and make some noise? Juan, I'll start with you.
I have three in mind right now. I'll try to be as quick as possible. The first one is one who's already pulled off the trade right before even the deadline even occurred. I'm going to say the Arizona Cardinals. They already traded for Zach Ertz with the Eagles to try to get Kyler Murray more help after they lost Max Williams to injury. But now that's on the offensive side of the ball. On defense, they just lost J.J. Watt to what might be a season-ending injury. Yeah. Right. Look, as much as JJ didn't have as much of an impact on the stat sheet, only one sack on the whole season so far, he was leading the league, or was one of the league leaders in QB hits. He brought pressure down the middle of the line. And without that pressure, even though you get Chandler Jones back from the COVID list and you have Marcus Golden having arguably one of the best seasons he's ever had, you still need that interior pressure. That being said, you don't always have to bring it from the middle. You can just bring extra pressure in from the outside and collapse the middle. So what I'm proposing is that the Cardinals send over a third and a fifth-round pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers for a disgruntled Melvin Ingram. All right, bring in. He is a talented pass rusher, one that felt like he wasn't getting enough of an opportunity in Los Angeles, came to Pittsburgh looking for an opportunity, has been their best pass rusher, but hasn't been getting enough snaps on the defensive side because they kept switching him out for who is arguably one of the better defensive players in TJ Watt. So now, instead of being replaced by TJ Watt, he goes to the Cardinals and replaces JJ Watt. Second trade, Packers for Odell Beckham Jr. He is not thriving in that Brown system. He has we've been trying to give this Baker to Odell chemistry a chance, and it just has not worked out. I'd say trade a second-round pick, which a lot like the Carson Wentz situation could turn into a first if Odell sees enough of the field. Sees enough production on the field. That will depend on contract stipulations. And then the last one, the Rams have to trade for another running back because Sony Michel is not doing a good enough job. He's a great goal line back, but when it comes to like a third down back, he is not versatile enough. And Darrell Henderson, albeit he's been a great surprise as a running back this year, just keeps getting hurt, especially with his hands. So either you go for a versatile running back in David Johnson, you trade a conditional 6th-round pick to get him. Conditional, because it is a running back by rotation, or you spend a little more money, or you send a little bit more of a draft incentive, a 3rd-round pick maybe for Marlon Mack at the Indianapolis Colts.
I like that. I like the Marlon Mack one. I love the Marlon Mack one. That's actually where I would have gone with that situation. I actually love that trade. I couldn't agree more. Marlon Mack to the Rams sounds like it makes sense to me. Darren, talk to me about the teams that you think are going to be aggressive during the trade deadline.
So we've been hearing lots and lots of rumors of deals actually might be done, and this person might be going somewhere else. And then we had a quarterback come out and say, "I don't feel like they don't want me."
Ooh.
That's not a denial that they don't want you. So my teams, I'm thinking it's going to definitely be a bit aggressive. Is the Texans and the Fins. If the Fins believe that Tua is just going to be too injury prone,
Sorry,
there's the
just
trade,
some
gentlemen.
news real quick. So the Panthers are out of the running for Deshaun Watson because Watson is only waiving his no trade clause for the Dolphins exclusively. So only the Dolphins can pull off the trade.
Let's just call it what it is. This is the trade right here. 3 first rounders from the Dolphins to the Houston Texans. Swap of quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson for Tua Tagovailoa, and there's only going to be one late draft pick left, a 5th rounder for next year.
Man, that's a lot for a guy that you don't even know is going to, whether or not he's going to be on the field, because we don't know if he's going to be prosecuted or not. But I understand he's a very
not to mention
very
just the moral implications of it all. Here's the thing. We don't even know if Deshaun Watson would even see the field once these issues clear up. He's not on the NFL's exemption list solely because he doesn't want to play for the Houston Texans right now. But what if he gets traded to Miami, wants to play, but the NFL's like, no, you look what you did to us. You think we're just gonna let you come back here? What do you think?
It'll be very interesting to see.
Well, listen here. That is why they have already started to set up deals and parameters around that issue of, can Tua stay healthy? Can Deshaun Watson actually play? And that's where some of these conditional picks are. But I do believe the 3 draft picks, the 3 first rounders, are definitely going. Now, if some of them are conditional in how much time he plays, if he gets put on the exemption list, what will those ramifications be? But I know before this deal gets done, those are all going to be set. 3 first rounders to the Texans, Deshaun Watson, and Tua's going to flip.
It'll definitely be interesting to see. I don't know if Miami's the best place for Deshaun Watson, if these allegations are true. But, it is what it is. Darius, talk to me. What teams do you think are going to be, aggressive?
One team that seems to be always aggressive every season, every offseason, and Juan said it, is the Rams. The Rams are probably the most aggressive team when it comes down to trades because they feel like we're going to pick later in the rounds and we can get a veteran guy who can come in, be a veteran in the locker room. They'll send you a first. They're not afraid to send first round picks. They did it with Jalen Ramsey. They did it with Matthew Stafford. Now, they don't have a first round pick in this year's draft, but I believe they have like a second and a third. So I think they're going to be aggressive. And Juan, you took my answer. I think Marlon Mack fits perfectly because he's the running back that can really make that offense even more better because he can run the ball and he can catch the ball out of the backfield. And like Juan said, Sonny Michel isn't really cutting it. Eric Henry, injury, he's a good back, but I think if you put in Marlon Mack and you split the carries or you make those 3 guys split the carries, you're going to see probably Sonny Michel produce and see, all right, we trade for this guy, now he's producing because he's not seeing the field as much, so he's not putting a lot of pressure on him. But I think the Rams are probably going to be the most aggressive team. I wouldn't be surprised if they're not on the phone right now calling the Colts like, hey, we'll give you a 3rd and a 5th for Marlon Mack. Another team in that division, I think the Cardinals. And I think the Cardinals are going to be aggressive when it comes down to a corner. I think they're a corner away from really legit making themselves like, hey, we're the real deal. Like if you can get a guy like Kyle Fuller, who I believe he's in Denver, who's not seeing the field that much because of the Denver Broncos stacked cornerback room, and you can trade for him. You put him with I think the guy that's on that side is Byron Murphy. Like that's a solid tandem with Buda Baker in the backfield. You got Chandler Jones. You got a nice solid pass rush. So I think the Arizona Cardinals are probably going to be another aggressive team. And I think a team that's going to be aggressive to trade, like get a player out, is the Cleveland Browns. And I think it's like it's all said. If it's not before the trade deadline, it's when the season's over. Odell Beckham Jr., you gotta trade him. You have to because it's really not working. You can't force it to work. So either you get him done before the trade deadline or you get him done in the offseason. But you cannot let him walk. You cannot let him sign with another team. You have to get something for him because you could possibly get a 2nd or a 3rd round pick for him, depending on the team that's willing to trade for him, like a Green Bay Packer team that's like, hey, we got Odell, we got Devontae Adams, we got Adam Lazard. So don't be surprised if Green Bay makes a trade in the next couple of days, depending on how the receivers play tonight after they play Arizona.
I wouldn't be surprised if they actually made a trade for Odell to try to, encourage Aaron Rodgers to stay a little bit. Coach, you were going to say something, and then Juan?
Oh, yeah, real quick. We already mentioned the Mark Ingram back to the Saints trade. Now, just hear me out here. We already know they're in cap hell, but could you see them
honestly
again? This time for Brandon Cooks to replace and be that number one guy until Mike Thomas backs, and then with that tandem of Brandon Cooks, Mike Thomas, you got Marquez Callaway in the slot along with Dante Harris, who's a super fast speedster. With Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram in the backfield, hey, listen.
It'll definitely be interesting.
This offense for the Saints might look there. Like
that would surely give Jameis a plethora of weapons, and I'm pretty sure he'd be happy about that. Juan, last thoughts.
Throwing Marquez Valdez-Scantling in on the Odell Beckham trade. He is kind of rotting away on the Packers bench. Not to mention, it's just the chemistry with Aaron Rodgers is just not there. And with the plethora of wide receivers, like good but not great wide receivers that the Cleveland Browns are having the rotation, I think he can. I feel like he can have a better gel with them than he would with the Packers receivers right now.
Definitely a possibility. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, the trade deadline is coming up. Me personally, if I was going to throw a team in there, I won't go into any explanation. I think everybody will understand as soon as I say their name. I don't know what they would do and what they would trade for, but I think that if they want to be what they were projected to be, I think the Kansas City Chiefs need to start thinking about trading a little bit here. So, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to jump into our final two topics of the day, and it is time for the Aired Out Game Picks, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, the Aired Out Game Picks. Let me pull up our records right now so we can get everybody on one accord here. So this week, Darren went 8-5, bringing his record to 65-43. Darius had a pretty good week this week. Yeah,
bounce back, baby.
10-3, bringing his overall record to 63-45. Juan went 8-5, still above 500, and he's still in the lead at 71-32. And myself, I went 10-3 this week as well, bringing my record to 69-39. Juan, I gained 2 games on you guys. I'm coming for you. I am coming for you. So, like I said, it's time for our game picks. Listen, I want to hear what you guys have for your game picks. Remember, you have one game that you can explain, and I'm going to start with Darius because I know that you've got some place to be. So I want you to give me not just your game picks, but then end it off with your hot take, and then we will see you next week. So give me your game picks. Let's do it.
All right. So for tonight's game, obviously we know the situation. We talked about it early in the show. Packers, Cardinals. I think the Cardinals stay hot. They win 8 straight. Patriots, Chargers. Patriots, come on, guys. Panthers, Falcons. Panthers a little bit of losing streak. Atlanta on the winning streak. I got Atlanta. I think Atlanta really being home. They got some momentum. I think Atlanta pulls it off. Dolphins, Bills. I'm going to go with the Bills. 49ers, Bears. I'm taking the 49ers. Steelers, Browns. This one is a little bit tricky for me, but I'm going to take the Steelers. I think the Steelers are they lost last year in the wild card. They got smacked in the mouth. I think they're going to come back and win. Eagles, Lions. I'm going to do it. Upset alert. Lions win. I think the Lions get their first victory. And this wasn't going to be my explanation game, but I'm explaining to you why I think the Lions are going to win. The Lions aren't playing bad football. Yes, their record may show. Defensively, they're not playing bad. Every game that they're in, and that they've been in, except for last week, they've been very competitive. Offensive, like I told you guys last week, that Rams and Lions game, it should have been a blowout. But the Lions found some way to stay in the game, and I just don't think the Eagles, with Nick Sirianni, the play calling, they don't run the ball. I just think the Lions being home, they finally get their first win, man. I think the Lions are going to upset the Philadelphia Eagles, and Eagles fans are really going to start to fire Howie, get Nick Sirianni out of here. We got to draft a quarterback, X, Y, and Z. Titans, Colts. Colts got a huge victory last week. Michael Pittman, man, he's balling. He's having a breakout season. I think the Colts keep that momentum going. Carson Wentz is playing really well. Bengals, Jets. Sorry, Juan. I think the Bengals win. Rams, Texans. This was my explanation game, but I think the Rams are going to do what the Rams do. They're going to make a game closer than they needed to be. They're going to win, but they're just going to make it close like they did last week. Seahawks, Jags. I'm going to go with the Seahawks. Washington, Broncos. I'm going to go Broncos, even though I'm always jinxing them. They're not going to win the division this year. Buccaneers, Saints. Come on. Tom Brady's having an MVP type season. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. The defense is playing well. Buccaneers, Cowboys, Vikings. Cowboys coming off a bye week. Take the Cowboys, and then Chiefs, Giants. Chiefs don't lose back-to-back games. This game is actually going to be an underrated game, but I think the Chiefs, Monday Night Football, they're home. Patrick Mahomes back in practice. I think they're going to bounce back and get a win. So I got the Chiefs. And my hot take, even though Aaron Rodgers does not have his wide receivers, he's still going to throw for over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions, and he's gonna run and he's gonna rush one in. Cardinals win by a late game field goal.
Wow,
300 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 total touchdowns.
You do know there's no Devontae Adams.
I understand that. That's why it's a hot take.
I can't say it's too spicy for my tape because I am of the belief that Aaron Rodgers can throw anyone open. It's just a matter of that person, you know.
He has Randall Cobb. He still has Randall Cobb. And Randall Cobb is not no slouch in the slot. So,
I mean, you have 3 slot receivers coming into this game right now, not one of them being a third-round rookie out of Clemson.
See, the Lions are playing really good.
We're gonna see. Tonight should be interesting. Darius, thank you as always for joining. Can't wait to see you next week if you are on.
I'll be on. I gotta when the Lions win, I gotta come in here with my Lions jersey. I gotta come in with the Lions jersey.
You gotta come in and glow. All right, cool, no problem. Enjoy the rest of your evening and your weekend. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna push it on over to Mr. Juan. And the one and only is going to go ahead and talk to us about his game picks. Again, you get to explain one of them.
I'll just be real quick on the Packers versus Arizona. Arizona, obviously. And in case you're wondering, yes, this is my Larry Fitz. I've been waiting to break this one out. I got, all right, so Carolina at Atlanta. Give me Atlanta. At Buffalo at Miami. Give me Buffalo. San Francisco at Chicago. I'm going to take San Francisco. Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Give me Cleveland. Detroit at Philadelphia. Give me Detroit. Tennessee at Indianapolis. I'm taking Tennessee. Cincinnati at the Jets. Cincinnati. Los Angeles at Houston by a landslide is going to be the Rams. New England against the Chargers. Sorry, Darius. Gonna have to disagree with you. I'm taking the Chargers number here to beat Bill Belichick. Jacksonville at Seattle. I'll say that one for speaking. Washington at Denver. I will go with. Ooh, that's a good one too. You know what? I'm gonna take Washington. Tampa at New Orleans. Tampa. Dallas at Minnesota, Dallas. And then New York Giants at Kansas City. The bleeding's got to stop at some point. I don't know if it's this point, but it's got to. But I'm inclined to take the Chiefs. I'm inclined simply because the quarterback battle is just barely, tipped on the scale of the Kansas City Chiefs. And then on bye week is Vegas and Baltimore. But let me get back to the Jacksonville versus Seattle game. So Jacksonville hasn't exactly been lighting it up in terms of what they've been able to accomplish. They are 1-16 this season, and Urban Meyer most likely could be fired. Maybe not this year, but early into year 2 because there's still too much faith in him from the organization. from Shaka Khan, which, believably, I can't believe is still there. Whereas Seattle, I think Pete Carroll needs to leave. He is trying to bring back a run-first mindset that worked for him in the 2013 Super Bowl. He has not been able to adapt. He is not letting Russ cook. And when Russ can cook under the right circumstances, without doubt from the organization, he can do well. But I feel like Pete Carroll is holding the Seattle Seahawks from this organization going any further than it already has. Not to mention Geno Smith is a scrub. And that's speaking from the guy that drafted him in the first place. Geno Smith is a scrub. The Seattle defense is absolutely horrible because Jamal Adams is also a scrub. And and DK Metcalf is a hothead, while Tyler Lockett is too hot and cold of a receiver to be consistent without Russell Wilson being in the lineup. And Jacksonville, they have nothing to lose and everything to gain in this game. It's another time for Trevor Lawrence to build up his experience against an NFL defense. It's a chance to meld with his offensive pieces more, and a chance for a get-right style game for the Jacksonville defense to thrive. With that being said, I am taking the Jacksonville Jaguars to beat the Seattle Seahawks in this game.
All right. Okay. I mean, it's a really tough game to call. So, I mean, it really can go either way. I'm not mad at the analysis at all. Coach Braxton, talk to me. Give me your game picks, man.
All right, so we're gonna make this pretty fair and simple. Cards for the win tonight. I'm sorry, Aaron Rodgers going to do well and all of that, but have we seen the Cardinals offense this year? Yeah. Okay. So Falcons over the Panthers. Sam Darnold is going to go back to Sam Darnold of the Jets for the next 2 games. He's already started. We're going to let it go for another 2 games before he starts to get his act together.
That's what I like to hear.
Bills over the Finns. This is going to attribute more and more to the swap for Tua.
I'm not sure who the Facebook user is, but they said that the Seahawks need an O-line. Facebook user, let us know who you are.
They've needed one for years, people. They've needed one for years. Since Russell Wilson has come into this league, he's been one of the most sacked guys. And the only reason why he's not more sacked, he's athletic enough to get out. This is why we call him Escape Russ, Magic Russ, Danger Russ. He does it all for that team. But that's neither here nor there. 49ers over the Bears. Browns over the Steelers. I'll actually say the Eagles and Lions for my explanation as well here. Titans over the Colts, which I think it's going to be a really good game, underrated. I'm just calling it out. Division games between them that's doing well, they always turn out well. Bengals over Jets. Sorry, Juan, but Jamar Chase has torched us, so I'm sorry.
I can't even blame you.
I fear for you right now. Like I'm scared of what they might do.
This was Jamar Chase. This is what I saw. This is what I felt when I saw the numbers with Jamar Chase. This is all I felt.
Did you? Yeah.
The disrespect. It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna settle this in fantasy this week, and you just got lucky that don't have to go up against Devontae Adams, who's been killing it for me this year. So you're lucky, Avery. It's okay.
T-Russ, what up?
It's okay. It's okay. Oh, and you're going down, Avery. It's a wrap. I'm getting all these wins in this podcast.
I mean, it sound good, you know.
It sound good. It's gonna look good. Just gonna add it to the record. Rams over the Texans, super blowout. Bolts over the Pats. Jeff Herbert's gonna knock Bill Belichick's socks off. I'm sorry, it is what it is. Hawks over the Jags. I feel like Geno Smith just might get it done. Like he's a scrub, but he's a scrub that can manage a game with a good running attack behind him. Denver over Washington. Washington's they're trying to play good on defense, but we've seen what you are now, unfortunately, and you're not last year's Washington defense. Bucks over the Saints. Very simple. Vikings over the Cowgirls. Yes. Vikings over the Cowgirls. And I give you the hot take from that one. I'm gonna leave that there. Chiefs over the Giants. That's also the hot take. But to my explanation, it is the Eagles and the Lions. I'm going to go with the Eagles, but I'm only going to go with the Eagles for two reasons. So the last few times the Lions were actually in position to win a NFL game this year, they have lost within the last 2 minutes of the game to three game-winning kicks. One of them being a 66-yard kick from the Ravens. The Lions are playing good, people, but they are just not able to finish it out. And that is the sad thing. They went for an onside kick last week, got it, and then went for a fake punt and got it in the same drive, people. The Lions are playing good football, but they are not able to finish fully. And the Eagles, for some reason, never can start well. But they have the fourth most points scored in the fourth quarter. They know how to rally from behind. And I feel like that Eagles team is just going to rally just enough to kick that field goal and beat the Lions for the fourth time that way this year.
Definitely be interesting. Definitely be interesting to see. Can't wait to see the full slate of games starting tonight. I'll give you guys my game picks and my explanation. Tonight, Packers, Cardinals. I'm going to take the Cardinals. Like I said, until they lose, I'm not picking against them. So that's just it. We need new management as well. You're a Washington fan. Hey, listen. I can agree there. I can agree there.
Release the papers.
There's definitely no facts. Release all of that. We need to know what's going on. But I'm gonna go with the Cardinals here over the Packers. Panthers versus Falcons. Because we are home, I'm gonna pick my guys, and because there's no Christian McCaffrey, I'm gonna pick my guys. I think the Falcons get the win here. Dolphins versus Bills. Bills look really good. Dolphins couldn't beat the Falcons, so I'm going with the Bills. 49ers versus the Bears. This is actually a tough one. I want to lean toward Justin Fields here because I'm not sure what's going on.
It's criminal that they're charging $103 for this game.
Say that again?
It's criminal that they're charging $103 for San Francisco versus Chicago.
I mean, they're still NFL teams. And, because Justin Fields has still not thrown the ball well, I'm going to go with the 49ers here. Steelers versus the Browns. This is a tough one too, but I'm going to take the Browns here. I think the Browns eke out a close one. Though I will not be surprised if the Steelers actually stomp them, but we'll see. Eagles versus the Lions. Until they win a game, I'm not going to pick the Lions, so I'll go with the Eagles. Titans versus the Colts. I picked against the Titans last week. Ooh, the Colts though, they look all right. They look like they're catching their stride. But I'm going to go with the Titans. Derrick Henry is just on a tear right now. Bengals versus the Jets. Sorry, Juan, going with the Bengals. Rams versus the Texans. Rams. Patriots versus the Chargers. I'm going to go with the Chargers. Jaguars versus the Seahawks. I'm going to go with... This is easily the toughest game. But I'm going to go with the team that I think just has the better overall roster, and I'll go with the Seahawks here. Buccaneers versus the Saints. Buccaneers, but I think it'll be closer than people assume. Cowboys versus the Vikings. I'll go with the Cowboys. Giants versus the Chiefs. Going to have to agree with Juan here. The bleeding has to stop at some point. I'll go with the Chiefs, and it's a primetime game. Now for my explanation game, Washington versus the Broncos. My. Another tough game to pick because of the fact that Henry is a monster right now. These are facts. Because of the fact that Teddy has just not been playing well the last 3 weeks. A lot more turnovers, which is uncharacteristic for Teddy Bridgewater. The running game has been all but non-existent after the first 4 weeks. Their receivers, Cortland Sutton is still working his way back from injury. Jerry Jeudy, I don't even think he's back just yet. So, I mean, offensively, Noah Fant can't be the only thing that you have. He's good, but he's not the a Travis Kelce type tight end that can take over a game. At least not this, at this point in his career. Washington, on the other hand, again, their defense has not been what we expected it to be. We thought that would be phenomenal. Their front four is still great. Sweat and Chase Young, they're still putting pressure on quarterbacks. They're doing their thing, but that back end of the defense, like I said, Landon Collins is basically a no-show. Their corners, I couldn't even name one right now. They're not good. They're just not playing at a high level at the moment. Tyler Heineke is doing everything that he can to keep these guys in games, but again, we've seen that can only do so much. And Antonio Gibson can't be the only, threat on offense outside of Terry McLaurin. And Terry McLaurin, if they put brackets coverage on him, there's not much he can do. So, it's going to be an interesting game to see. I'm going to go with the Washington football team. I think Washington actually wins this game here. It's a tough one. It's going to be a hard-fought game. It's going to be really sloppy. I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos win, to be honest, but just because I believe right now more in Tyler Heineke because he's not afraid to push the ball down the field. I'm going to go with the Washington football team here, and I think they get a win. So those are my picks. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's time for everybody's favorite segment of the show. It is Hot Take Thursday. Hot Take Thursday. I cannot wait to hear what you guys have in store. So, Juan, I'm going to let you go ahead and kick it off. Hot Take Thursday. Give me hot takes.
Before I do, I just want to say, look, Darren, I hate the Cowboys as much as anybody, but when the opposing quarterback has a losing record in primetime games, 0-9 on Monday night, and this is a Sunday night football game, I can't really rely on that right now. Plus, I am too invested in the Dak Prescott comeback story this year that it's making the Cowboys just slightly likable. Slightly. Only because of Dak. If Dak wasn't on this team, I would just hate on it upon hate on it upon hate on it. All right. So let me just get that out of the way. With that being said, I do have hot takes. I do. And it's going with the Detroit and Philadelphia game. I picked Detroit to win this game. But they're not just going to win this game, my friends. No. The knee biting starts here. It starts here. I predict that the Detroit Lions are going to blow out the Philadelphia Eagles at home. It's going to be a wallop of Philadelphia. All right. I don't even think Philadelphia is going to put up double-digit points in this game. In fact, single digits.
Ooh.
I call only 9 points. 3 field goals, no touchdowns whatsoever.
Ooh.
And with the Lions, 38. You're going to put up 38 points on this Philadelphia defense.
Wow. That's saying something for a team that is 0-7. But hey, listen, a little spicy there, That's what we're here for. We're here for the hot takes. Hot takes, ladies and gentlemen. All right, listen, Coach, you're up, man.
Listen, that was a little more than just a little spicy right there. A 38-9 blowout. I had to take my water for that one. I had to cool down a little bit, but
I want to hear.
So y'all already talked about it a little bit. How you think the Cowgirls, even though they are who they are, they're playing pretty well. They're 5-1 or 6-1 this year on the season. They're going against the Vikings, who Kirk Cousins has you said 0-9 Monday night record.
No, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, Kirk Cousins has won a primetime game. And it's been recently. And I'm fine with one. Because one is all you need to gain your momentum. So, in the essence of what I've already spoken of earlier, Trayvon Diggs will get a pick six tonight. I'm sorry, on Sunday versus the Vikings. But Kirk Cousins will end the game throwing for 350 yards, 4 touchdown passes. And Jay Jettas will get 2 of those touchdown passes with over 100 yards receiving.
No, always Mr. 350 with you, isn't it, Mr. Braxton?
Okay.
Kirk Cousins.
Oh, mic drop.
You like that.
Mic drop.
You like that.
You like that. That convinced me. That freaking convinced me.
I like it. I like it. I'm
I
not
still
mad
think
at
Dallas
it
is
at
going
all.
to lose, but won't be without Vikings putting up a fight.
Not mad at it at all. Okay, listen, my hot take. So let me see how I want to phrase this one here. You know, because there's a couple. But I'm going to go with the Patriots-Chargers game. Though I have the Chargers winning, I think this is going to be a duel. I think Mac Jones is starting to find his stride. He put up a 50-piece on the Jets. Yes, it was the Jets. We all understand that the Jets have some issues right now.
He got out of the game before the 50-piece went up.
Even still, the fact of the matter is he was a part of that 50-piece. He was the person who got that momentum swinging that way. So
that 50-piece right there.
With that being said, I'm predicting at least 80 points scored in this game combined. Both quarterbacks throw for 400 yards. And the thing that loses the Patriots the game is Mac Jones throws an interception. That's it right there. Bang. Justin Herbert throws for 5 touchdowns. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. That's it.
Wait. One question.
That's
question.
It.
So are the tight ends? so are the tight ends for the Patriots want to both have 100-yard days?
Listen, we're gonna see. I don't know about that. That's not part of my hot take.
Wait. Is Kendrick Bourne finally gonna score his first ever touchdown in the NFL?
We're gonna see, man. That's not part of my hot take.
Is going to score his first receiving touchdown of his career in the NFL.
We're gonna see, man. I'm
is
just
that
saying.
You're not gonna take out an opponent quarterback needs.
Listen, Mac Jones is going to play phenomenal, and he's still going to lose, leaving Bill Belichick
Quick updates on the on tonight's TNF game. Linebacker Jalen Smith inactive for tonight's game.
That stinks.
Well,
yep. Well, I think we all picked the Cardinals anyway, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure. Thank you all for joining in and conversing with us and leaving your comments, man. It's been a pleasure. Listen, please do not forget to like and follow all of these videos and follow us on all of our social media platforms. That's Instagram at Inside the Hashes, Facebook Inside the Hashes, and Twitter at Inside the Hash Football, at Inside Hashes. And please do not forget to check out the website, www.insidethehashes.com, where you can find all of our content. You can find all the player interviews, all the gaming, all the fantasy football stuff, all the blogs. You can get all of that stuff, including these podcasts. Don't forget to check it out. Juan, it looks like you got something that you want to chime in here.
It's not Facebook anymore.
I mean, oh yeah, that's right. It's Meta now, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
Don't forget to follow us on Meta, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not heard, Facebook has announced that it's changing its name to Meta. Thank you so much for everyone jumping in. Thanks, Pop, for jumping in. We appreciate your support. And again, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to go ahead and follow us on YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe button. And while you're at it, hit the notification button. That way you get to know when we are live, and you can go ahead and leave us your comments so we can go ahead and interact with you. As you can see, we like to interact with you guys while we are live. Listen, for myself, I'm Avery Collins. That is Juan, and that is Coach Braxton. We want to say thank you to everyone who joined in today. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time. We are going to get on and get out of here and let you guys enjoy some Thursday night football. Air It Out is over and out.
There is a